Now, Sports Talk with Brodes. Here's Hunter Brody.
What is going on, everyone? I want to talk more about the 76ers. You're damn right! I want to talk more about this Sixers game, even though it's just some preseason action, and I never truly touched on the presentation side of things. So when college basketball first started, I was rubbed the wrong way. I remember sitting down to watch Duke and Michigan State play at Duke. And I was so juiced up because I love those big matchups in college ball. But I was missing something. I'm so used to seeing fans with the face painted blue, hands in the mix, and I didn't get that. So from an entertainment standpoint, I was losing a big chunk of why I enjoy the sport of college basketball. So I was a little bit concerned that when NBA action was going to come around, that I would be missing something too. And to be fair, yes, I definitely am missing a part of the game, but it is nowhere near the same as what I missed in college basketball. And I think it does have to do with when you watch these college games, the environment is part of the experience. The drunk students, the fan base. It's different than going to a Wells Fargo Center with 25,000 fans. It's a different atmosphere from the jump. So presentation-wise, I was cool with it. I wasn't really rubbed the wrong way. And Doc, after the game, he made it seem pretty clear that it felt like a home game. When you were playing in the bubble, no. Whether you were the home team or not, it didn't feel right. Now you're in your own building. You got certain noises cranked in through the PA system. It felt like a home game. Brad Stevens was throwing some shots. Not really, though, having fun with it. Saying he did miss all the nice, kind Christmas and holiday wishes from people behind him in Philadelphia. Yeah, I'm sure they were very welcoming holiday spirit comments, Brad. I'm sure they were. All right, let's dive into it. We're going to listen to some Anytime Hotline calls. We actually have some comments to read as well from my community post and on yesterday's postgame podcast, so we'll get into all of that. But first, we are broadcasting live, as always, from the Manscaped Man Cave. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. I also want to let everybody know that I am doing a giveaway. You can win a free 76ers hat, and it's so simple. Run over to my Twitter account, at Brodes81. I have a pinned tweet to my profile. You need to retweet the tweet and follow me. Simple. And on Christmas Day, I will be announcing a winner. That's all you have to do, and we will be implementing so many more giveaways throughout the season. So, make sure you get yourself entered to win. There's no reason not to. It's a no-brainer. You want to know what I'm super pumped for? Tyrese Maxey. When you look over the last couple of years of having those late draft picks, whether it's Landry Shamet or Matisse Thybulle, nice players, for sure. Good role players. But I think Tyrese Maxey has the ability to grow into more than just a nice role player. Landry Shamet and Matisse Thybulle, they have limitations. But when I watch Tyrese Maxey play, when I watch his ability to handle the rock, score the rock, I am so encouraged in what he can blossom into. And oh, by the way, on a scheduled off day, he's already back in the gym getting ready to go. We put up a picture, I believe it was on his Instagram story. It's going all around social media right now that even on the day off, after just playing in his first NBA action, albeit preseason, he's going back into the office. He's checking in and he's checking out. I think the kid is wired differently. And that's why I was so entertained by the pick at the time of the draft. There's something to be said about going after these top college program kids. You don't need to be picking at some of these smaller schools, although Washington, Matisse Thybulle, Wichita State, Landry Shamet. I'm not saying that you can't find players in smaller college programs. It doesn't have to be only Michigan State, Duke, Kentucky. But there's something to be said about those kids, too. Justin Jefferson from LSU. Oh, hold on. Yeah, let me makes a lot of sense of why he's tearing up the league at the wide receiver position, don't you think? So that's my point. I look at Tyrese Maxey and that floater game coming around the screen. Doc mentioned pushing for minutes. You bet that ass that's going to be happening. You bet it is. All right, let's dive into some of these anytime hotline calls. Some preseason anytime hotline calls. How about it? That just get your juices flowing.
Just got done watching the Sixers. Pretty pumped with how they look. Seem more quicker, more athletic, more energy on the roster. I think they could definitely go 8 or 9 deep with this team, something they haven't been able to do in a couple of years. The only worry is Tobias Harris's fit. I don't know. I just don't see how he can fit on this team. I would love to see him dump him off before the deadline for a quality starter.
I don't think you're getting rid of Tobias Harris. And in terms of him not fitting on the team, I think when you look at the 4 position, he gives you a fit. When you think about what his skill set is in being able to space the floor, he can dribble. Now, I don't think he can do it too much or he gets overwhelmed and he starts overthinking things, but it's not like he's unable to dribble the basketball. He could take advantage of that 3-4 matchup based off of size, depending on what the other team is putting out there on the floor. When you talk about fits with Tobias Harris, I think the fit, it definitely makes sense. He's just not an outstanding player. He takes a lot of shots to get his 20 points. He needs to be more efficient. But his playing style definitely makes sense with the team. Now, you talk about getting rid of him, going to get a quality starter. He's got flaws. Everyone knows it. He has a lot of money tied to his name. Everyone knows it. I don't know what you expect moving on from Tobias Harris. And I don't think they are going to just move on from Tobias Harris. We talked about this with the whole Ben Simmons, James Harden debacle. And oh, did you see that picture of James Harden? Wow, does he look fat as hell? Too many strip clubs. Too many wings at the strip clubs. Who was that? Who went to grab wings when they were at the bubble? I don't know why it's escaping my head. But anyway, regardless, that's not the point I'm trying to make. When Doc Rivers took this job, before Daryl Morey got hired, remember, he saw this roster. He saw Ben, he saw Joel, and he saw Tobias, someone he coached in the past. I feel Doc wants to have his hands on Tobias. You think about how these coaches, everyone looks at a roster, right? So everyone was looking, and I'm talking about coaches when I say everyone. They look at that roster last year that Brett Brown had, and they all naturally feel, oh, I could fix that. Oh, I can figure out how to get those going. So I feel when Doc looks at this and looks at Tobias Harris specifically, he goes, oh, yeah, I can totally get more out of Tobias Harris. I did in the past. Of course I can. So I don't know if he looks at it so much as a problem like some of the fans do and like some of the 76ers fans do. I don't think he views it as some big-time issue. He looks at it as he has the solution. He can fix Tobias Harris. And I saw that there were tendencies at it, Toby, that is very effective. That can be a factor. Quick decisions. Know what you're going to do with the ball when you get it. Less thinking. And you saw that in spurts. If you can get that consistently, you won't have to talk about trading him. It's going to be so hard to do that anyway. I just don't see it being a reality. You mentioned going deep with the bench. And that is something that stands out to me. With Shake Milton, Matisse Thybulle, Mike Scott, Dwight Howard, Tyrese Maxey, Furkan Korkmaz, there's 6 right there. You're going to have a deep team. Now remember, when you get to the postseason, shrinks big time. You're not going very deep on the bench. So who's going to win those jobs? And is Seth Curry and Danny Green, are they going to be able to be your full-time starters? Now, it's funny I bring that up because I did mention that in yesterday's post-game pod, and somebody commented about that. Seth and Danny Green, this is from Zozo. Seth and Danny Green absolutely have to be the starters. You saw things on the court that haven't happened in a while with those two out there. And I'm not denying that. The spacing on the floor was definitely recognized. But just because you don't technically start doesn't mean you don't log in a lot of minutes. You can start another player that won't get legit starter minutes, and someone off the bench would accumulate more. So when I say it doesn't mean they necessarily start, it doesn't mean they're not going to be playing a ton. It doesn't mean they're not going to get run with the number ones. It's just the way that you rotate everything. That's all. Yeah, Danny Green and Seth Curry, they're going to have major roles on this team, whether they're technically in the starting rotation or not. I'll tell you what, though, I woke up just thinking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 us. I had an extra pep in the step. The coffee tastes a little bit better. 10, 9, 8, 76ers. Unreal.
Hey, bros, man. This is Coop from Jersey. It's about the end of the third quarter right now. I just don't see what the hell y'all are saying, man. I'm watching Ben play. He looks the same exact way he did his rookie season. I see no improvements. And I don't understand. James Harden would make the team so much better. Just do it. Just do it. I get it. He's 31. I get it. Ben's younger. But Ben is what he is. He's not going to change. Like, nobody goes from not shooting the ball at all to shoot. Like, no. He is what he is. Like, this is the player he's going to be. And I just don't see the Sixers winning anything with him playing like that. When it's the playoffs and the game slows down and it's more of a half-court game, he's very limited because of his lack of perimeter game. And James Harden, surrounded with Embiid and Danny Green and Tobias, he will flourish. I just think they need to make it happen. I'm sorry. I like the kid, but if you could get Harden for him, you should do it.
This is where I have the issue with that statement. First off, James Harden is the type of player that, when you think about it, that's the return you're looking for when you trade a Ben Simmons. So, for all the years you've been hearing, trade Ben for this guy, trade Ben for that guy, and it would be nonsense, and you're just picking a guy who's good, but not on the level of trade value for Ben Simmons. I will admit that James Harden is that type of player, top 5 in the league, that you would be willing to move on from a Ben Simmons for. But here's where I have a problem. Watching yesterday's game, while I thought Ben Simmons was underwhelming and maybe I expected a little bit more, knowing what the situation was, let's be realistic about it. It is a preseason game. I did expect more. I don't know how you watch yesterday and then just automatically apply that to what it's going to be like in postseason. Now, the track record shows, you mentioned, limitations in the half-court set. No doubt. You can't deny that that has been a problem, and it possibly will be a problem once again. But what you saw yesterday in a preseason game against the Celtics, where they were missing 4 guys and it's a nonchalant game anyway, I don't know how you can apply that to what this team is going to look like with this spacing and this rotation in the half-court sets. Just based off of Seth Curry, Danny Green, and other guys, you will have way more options in the half-court set, more room to operate for Ben and Joel individually. You just don't know what it's going to look like, all because of 3 quarters of last night's game. And you don't know. What happens if Tyrese Maxey blossoms into a player? If Shake Milton becomes a lethal weapon that you can really rely on? And then that changes the entire identity of the team. My problem with this call isn't so much, hey, I want James Harden, because I can see why people want to trade Ben for James Harden, even though I don't think I would pull the trigger. I can understand the logic why people would. So I'm not knocking you for that. But I can't take what I saw yesterday and apply that to this team, where it's going to take so long to grow. Daryl Morey said it from the jump when he first got here. You don't have your NBA title roster or your playoff roster at day one. This is a journey. There's a reason why they play long-ass seasons. You got to mold. You got to become one. You need to grow together. This isn't even game one. This isn't legitimately game one. So expectations from that game and applying it to later on half-court sets, while I understand using the track record of Ben to support your answer, I also think it's unfair because you don't know what this team will become, and you don't know who will step up, and you don't know what they have yet and how it will all look. That's all. That's my point with it.
Hey, Brodes. Long-time YouTube subscriber, first-time caller. I watched most of the game. I had to study for a final, but I like what I saw. The offense is a little worse for wear, which is understandable with the, new system, short timeline. But, I saw some good things. Shake looked good. I like Seth on a lot of the pick and roll. Embiid looked good. Simmons was good facilitator. I thought defense looked really good too. Besides the little bit of errors here and there, which I think will get cleaned up in the coming weeks, I'm excited. Let's go Sixers.
I'm definitely excited too. One last thing with Ben, although I'm sure Ben's name will pop up again. Free throw line. You saw more out of the free throw line, and realistically, that's huge. That's big. You could argue that is bigger than even taking the jump shots, because if he's willing to get fouled, if he's willing to go to the rim, if he's willing to get contact because he's confident and comfortable at the free throw line, you are going to see those point per game numbers improve. If he was, I think it was right underneath 17 points per game. So if you get that number closer to 20, and that's all based on not even taking the jumper, but getting to the free throw line, that's a huge step in the right direction. Now, I want him to be more in that 25 point per game area. I don't think it's just going to take a monster jump to that level. But if he can improve the free throws and go from 16.7, it's in that range, to somewhere around 20 just because of that, well, that does change it. He needs to be able to go to the rim and be willing to get attacked, to get beat up, to get hit hard, and then walk to the free throw line comfortably. Elbow in, sink it. So I did notice the free throws. Defense. Caller mentioned the defense. He also mentioned some finals, studying for the finals. Good luck to your finals. Hopefully you do a good job. Hopefully you didn't get too distracted with some 76ers action. I always remember when I was trying to do studying during college and I was watching games. Guess what? I didn't study a damn thing during those moments. But if you can do that, God bless you. You mentioned the defense, and the intensity was absolutely there. And I can't wait to see how that translates to. Because if they're giving you this type of energy now, I can only imagine what it's going to be like when the game goes on your record, when it actually matters and counts for something. They have the mindset and the proper focus on letting that defense dictate the game. Let the defense create opportunities for the offense. Make a stop on defense. Allow that to pursue into a really great fast break. Or even if it gets set into a half court. Let yourself get into position, get into your set, and then run your plays. Get into your designs. But let it all start because of what you do on the defensive side. And when you talk about veterans like Danny Green, bringing that type of energy, poking balls from behind, getting a lot of steals, that is something that goes around. It's like one big, I hate to say this. I was going to say it's like a virus. One person gets the virus and then it all goes to everybody else. That's a horrible way to explain it. I feel so bad, but it is what it is. You look at it, and one guy like Danny Green, the veteran, the old head, is doing this in preseason games. Well, that is going to then somehow spread. That's the word I'm looking for. It's going to spread around the team, and I thought that everybody really did have that swag, that attitude. All right, before we take more calls, I need to let you know about my friends at DraftKings. DraftKings has brought their expertise to legal sports betting. It's a legitimate sports book based right here in the U.S., so you can rest assured that your funds are totally secure. DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is safe, secure, and reliable. Deposit and withdrawal at your convenience. Listen to this new deal. It's outrageous. All new users have a chance to earn a sign-up bonus, up to $1,000 when signing up. So head to the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Check out all that they have to offer, including player props, live betting, and so much more. If sportsbooks are not yet available in your state, don't forget about the DraftKings Fantasy app, which offers millions of dollars in total prizes every single week. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's get to the next caller.
Well, a win is a win. Overall, my takeaways from that game is that Shake Milton played very well. Doc Rivers was hyping him up in practice, and he seems to be doing very well this season. So far, Danny Green had some great defensive plays. Not defensive plays, he just plays some great defense. Embiid was great and then played solid. Overall, I think this team looks very well. Also, Tyrese Maxey with 2 nice buckets. Very promising kid. And overall, this team looks like it has the potential to do a lot this season. Hopefully, its chemistry gels throughout the season, and this continues all the way up until the playoffs.
Hopefully. So much time and so much can happen from now until then. But yes, hopefully they can transition and then keep this going forward until the postseason occurs. I want to touch on Shake. I think that is a key component to this season. What is Shake Milton going to be like? And Doc Rivers has been very vocal, extremely loud about what type of player Shake Milton can be. And I looked at it as, okay, well, when you look at what Shake Milton did, he had that, 39-point performance on the road in L.A. There were a lot of injuries occurring to the Sixers at that time. So I was just wondering, and I think it's very reasonable to look at it this way. I was wondering, did Doc Rivers see that and then automatically assume that this is who the kid is all the time? No, Shake Milton had other moments that were solid, and he showed the ability to create and to knock a shot. It's not like Shake Milton is unable to play at all. But when you watched him in L.A. and you watched him in other games, there was a difference. All right, he was unbelievable in that matchup. And I just wondered, did Doc Rivers take that and just say, this is who Shake Milton is? And that concerned me. But clearly the confidence building and putting a lot on his plate, knowing that he can handle it, it was almost like, Shake, you can handle this. You're a player. You got it. You have the skill set. You are one hell of a player. You have the IQ of the game. I'm going to give you this, and you're going to take it. And Shake Milton, in opportunity number 1, definitely made a statement. I can't get over that fadeaway to the right. Here he is coming around. He's got that fadeaway opportunity. It sort of looked like, you know how sometimes J.J. Redick would take a shot where he's falling over? It looked so unorthodox. You don't know what the hell he's doing, but somehow by the end he squares his shoulders and it's nothing but net. That's what it looked like for me when I saw Shake Milton fade to the right that way. And then here he is, pretty much at the elbow, sort of like where Al Horford should have been taking a lot of those pick and pop shots. He's dribbling, he's creating his own, and he's giving me a little step back. Jay, I slid down my damn couch. I was so overwhelmed with it all. I couldn't take it in. What's going on here, Shake? He can be someone that can improve so much. And if he is a steady player, and it kind of relates to what I was saying with the caller who mentioned Ben Simmons, and who is he? I don't see what you're seeing. You don't know what these kids can grow into and how that changes everything, how that changes the whole team, the entire identity, the flow, what they can run, their sets, their spacing. If these kids do blossom into a piece that's more than just a little bit of a contributor, but they're players, well then how you feel about Ben Simmons and what he has to work with, it totally changes everything. So I just don't know. And I am a show me guy. I'm not saying that that's automatically going to happen. That will be the outcome. I need to see it to believe it. But to pretend like there's no outlet for that to be the case, or there's no outlet for that to be the outcome, well, I think that's also unfair. I am so encouraged by Shake and Tyrese. Let it play out. I don't know if you're even going to see the Ben Simmons, James Harden debacle much longer. Isn't it pretty obvious? I know there's a lot of reports, James Harden wants out, Philadelphia Sixers, they have the highest odds to land him. That doesn't mean anything. It seems pretty damn clear. The message seems set. Doc Rivers came here, and he wanted his hands on Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Daryl Morey came in afterwards. Doc took the job first, meaning he saw this. He wanted this. And Daryl was pretty vocal about it too. When you're looking at a franchise, when you're looking at an organization, what more can you possibly want than a 24-year-old in Ben Simmons and what Joel Embiid can provide? What more can you ask for? This is it. This is what you look for. I don't know. I don't see it. I honestly think I would be shocked if they did pull the trigger there. And I don't think there's that much smoke, even with all the headlines. It's more like James Harden trying to force his ass out of town. It doesn't seem it's, the Sixers are the ones really trying to make the calls. Ben Simmons and 3 firsts? No shot. That's laughable. Really, I think it's laughable.
Yo, Bros, big fan. Just finished watching the Sixers game. I'll just go with, the good and the bad. The good, Embiid looked bad. He looked good. He looked like he's been working on his body. He looks more athletic. I like Danny Green defensively. Shake Milton looked great. I expected that from him. He's going to thrive off the bench. And the negatives, I just think Tobias, while he's good scoring, he thinks too much. Just stop thinking. Shoot, pass, or drive. You don't have to do so much. And I think that really got him in trouble in the beginning. Ben Simmons, I think he has to figure out what he's doing to half-court offense.
I'll stop right there, and I will touch on some other things you said. But in terms of Ben, what I feel happened with Ben yesterday was he wanted to try and get his teammates going. He wanted to get a feel of, okay, this is where Seth is, this is where Danny is. It seemed like he was really focused on the facilitating part of things because you're running the floor with the new team. There's only so much that you could do in practice and scrimmage situations. When you take it to the next level and you start playing against another opponent, well, things change. And it does seem like he was testing the waters and kind of adjusting to, okay, this is a different unit. What works best? How can I get my teammates open the best? How can I use my game and apply that to this new roster and the spacing on the floor? So I'm with everybody else that's underwhelmed. You clearly are upset about it. You put it in your bad category of the call. But let's not act like this automatically means that he's now some stiff because he was trying to figure things out with his new team, if that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. I get the frustration because we're all waiting, and we all know what Ben isn't doing. We all know his flaws, and we all know his ceiling if he ever did take his game to the next level. I didn't like what I saw, but I also can see why it was what it was at the same time.
He looks clueless. And third of all, Maxey looked okay. He looked good. I like his floater game, but Furkan Korkmaz, oh my God, bro. Doc has to take away his minutes, man. I think he's the type player that you put in early in the game, and if he's hot, you keep him in a few more minutes, but if he's not, then you just never put him back in. He looked horrible tonight.
I can agree with you. Look, you're preaching to the choir when it comes to Furkan Korkmaz. But I've heard Doc Rivers speak a bunch, and he's not just going to throw people under the bus and say, this guy stinks, that guy stinks. He's a confidence guy. He's a guy that's going to tell you, you're a great player. You can do this. You can excel here. If you do this, you can totally elevate yourself. That's what he did with Shake Milton, and it seems like that's what he's doing with Furkan as well. You could see the difference in confidence. Literally every podcast I do goes back to the Eagles. Carson Wentz has zero confidence. Jalen Hurts has a ton of confidence. You can see the difference in play. Well, he's building up these guys. He's talking so highly on Furkan. I wish he wasn't going to get any time, but it seems like he absolutely will. And I do actually agree with you that you can throw him out there, and if you see, hold on, he's on to something, he's hitting his first couple of threes, rock it, see how long it goes, and then pull him when you need to. But if you give him some time early, and he goes 0 for 3 from 3, has a turnover, all right, Ferk, you're sitting your ass on the edge of the bench, and I don't ever want to see your damn face again. Because you know he's going to get waxed defensively, so if he's not making any threes, you're in trouble. You're going to get exposed. Sadly, though, Coach liked him. He even mentioned that he did a lot of things that he liked that didn't show up on the score sheet. I don't see anything related to Furkan Korkmaz that's good. Just anti-Furkan Korkmaz. And you know that. You know that. All right, let's get to a couple comments here on YouTube. So, the first one here is from Jake. Ben's got the same game. I feel like I'm going in circles here when it comes to Ben. I'm just as upset as anybody else is. I can't just say that this is everything. This one performance is everything. And here's another thing. What were your expectations? Is it fair to ask that question? Did you come into this season expecting some huge, noticeable, extreme difference in this game? Because I think at that point, I blame you. I blame you for having those expectations. Why would you jump to that conclusion? Why, out of nowhere, would you just imagine that being the case? You know that's not how it's going to be. We all want it to be that way, but you understand that's not reality. So why put your expectations in that type of mindset? This is from John. Maxey looked pretty good. Looking forward to see him adjust to the NBA and balling out. And I'm with you. I love his handles. I think there's a lot to be said. It starts there with his ball handling and what he can do in that area that opens up more of the floor and opens up more of the game. When you look around the roster, you don't have many guys that are just excelling to this degree of being able to handle the ball so well. He can do that, and he's got a lot to learn. His skill set's there, but if you intensify that to an NBA level and he constantly works on it to elevate himself, well, then it only gets smoother and it opens up even more. But his ball handling is clear that he can operate that way. The floater is awesome too. Although I do anticipate some big men reading that that's his go-to. Because it does seem like that's his go-to. And at some point, maybe some of these big men realize his tendencies. Swat that thing out! Swat his ass out of here! We'll see, though. Love the kid. Love the kid. A lot of Shake Milton comments. Shake can ball. Doc has to work on Shake being the sixth man of the year. Shake can ball. I love it, right? A lot of these. More like, I asked, what are your takeaways from the game? Someone said more like shakeaways. Oh, I like what you did there. That's from Rob Smith. So, a lot of Shake Milton love. Understand why, without a doubt. And I can't wait for Friday. You know what I also can't wait for? Manscaped. I have some Manscaped products coming in. Listen up, fellas. 2020 sucked. It's almost the new year, which means new balls with our sponsor, Manscaped. Manscaped is best in men's below-the-waist grooming, offering precision-engineered tools for your family jewels and helping 2 million men all over the world get rid of their hair on their balls. Listen to this perfect package 3.0 that they have for you. You start out with the Lawnmower 3.0, which is waterproof and has skin-safe trimmer technology, which reduces nicks to your two best friends. They also have the Crop Preserver anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer, the Crop Reviver ball toner spray, the Shed travel bag, the Manscaped anti-chafing boxer briefs, you name it. A guy with hairy balls is like the year 2020. Don't be that guy. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Can't wait for Friday. Can't wait for Friday. Do not forget, by the way, about that giveaway that I'm doing. Head over to my Twitter, at Brodes81. And I'm giving away a 76ers hat, as I mentioned from the top, we are going to be doing so many more giveaways. And it's as simple as retweet a tweet and follow me. So if you want to be up to speed and if you don't want to miss an opportunity to win any sort of merchandise, t-shirts, you name it. We're going to be doing all sorts of apparel. Toss the follow at Brodes81 once again. Thank you all so much for listening. I appreciate it so much. And I will see you next time.